I like this so much because I could probably also call this topic how not to create a unicorn. Yesterday we were talking about finding unicorns, and this is the exact opposite, I guess. But let me start off with a little story. Who of you has seen this movie, the original Wall Street? Yeah, it's a really fantastic movie, quite old, I think from the 80s. And so, I mean, you know these guys, Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen, when they were a little bit younger. And so, especially Charlie Sheen, he's this up-and-coming banker and broker. And at some point in the movie, he says to a girl, I think if I can make a bundle of cash out of this, before I'm 30, I can get out of this racket, and I'll be able to ride my motorcycle across China. So what's wrong with this statement? So the thing is, this guy could scrub toilets for a couple of months and then have enough money to ride his motorcycle across China. And if he scrubbed a couple more toilets, he would probably also be able to buy his motorcycle in China. So the morale of this story for me is that maybe he's chasing his dream with the wrong means. And so that means for me, first of all, you have to know what you want. And I'm not sure he knows what he wants. And then second of all, when you know what you want, there may be more than one way to achieve it. There usually is. So that's the theme of the presentation a little bit. Because I mean, you guys are here, so you're obviously interested in entrepreneurship. And most of what I've seen here in terms of speakers and presentation was all about, you know, startups and venture capital and how to finance a startup and grow really big and so on. And I think that's cool. But there are other ways in order to achieve your dreams, in order to be an entrepreneur, maybe live a really fulfilling life. And that's what I want to talk about. So my short agenda for today. First of all, the importance of knowing what you want and why you want it. Second, I'll present to you an alternative model of entrepreneurship called lifestyle entrepreneurship. And thirdly, I'm going to give you a framework for getting started, because first a general one and then a more concrete one, because you know this is a how-to talk, how to build a lifestyle business, so that's what we're going to do. Who am I to talk about this? I myself am an EBS alumnus of the year 2004. There was still the diploma back then. And when I did graduate, no one of my co-students wanted to become an entrepreneur. They all wanted to either become a strategy consultant, or an investment banker, or a marketeer at L'Oreal. So I'm really quite envious of you guys, because I mean, you're all so young, and all the opportunities that you have, and that you want to become entrepreneurs or interested in the topic, and also the possibilities that we have right now with the internet and mobile and so on, and then also the mindset that you already have, and especially due to events like this, which are actually fostering the mindset. So I think that's really cool. So I did a bunch of stuff between 2004 and 2013. In 2013, I decided to quit my job together with my brother. We were both working at Zalando at the time, and we founded our own company. And we founded our own lifestyle business. So my company is called Escaleto, and probably no one of you has ever heard that name before. So, and that's fine, because it doesn't matter. What we do is we're a mobile app company. So we have, in the last 2.5 years, created over 500 apps on the App Store. And we've gathered more than 20 million downloads. And we have 0 employees. So basically it's just my brother and me. And we both have no tech knowledge. And everything that we did was basically completely outsourced and made through freelancers. And for example, in 2014, we made a 6-figure profit with this company. And I personally was 13 weeks on vacation. So, and I'm not saying this to impress you, but rather to impress upon you that it is possible to be an entrepreneur, to build a business, to earn well, and at the same time have a great life, have a great lifestyle. And that's what I want to talk about. And I'll talk about this a little bit more. So I found this quote: if you don't know where you're going, you might wind up someplace else. And I think that's really, really important. And that's what I already hinted at with this little story. I think one of the most important things in life is, first of all, to become a self-expert. And that means figuring out what you want. And that means asking yourself really, really important questions. Like, for example, what are your highest values in life? What is your philosophy about life? What drives you? What is your definition of success? And when you have that definition, ask yourself, is this really your definition of success? Or is this maybe your parents' definition of success? Or society's definition of success? So, asking yourself these questions, I think, can lead to a really successful and really fulfilling life, according to your own rules and according to your own definition of success. And the earlier you start, I think, the better. So then, who of you here wants to become an entrepreneur and start a business? Maybe you raise your hands. So a couple of you already do know what you want. So my question is why? Why do you want to become entrepreneurs? Can you give me any reasons? Money, maybe? Changing the world? That's all good. I mean, there are a lot of reasons, and I mean, really, there are no wrong reasons, as long as they're your reasons. So I think that's, the second integral part, asking yourself what you want to do and then why you want to do it. And when you figure these two things out, you can ask yourself, decide how to get there, just as Charlie Sheen could have decided to get to China in another way than the way he did. All right, who of you knows the 4-Hour Workweek? Okay, a couple of you. I think you should, it's a book, for those of you who don't know it. And if you haven't read it, you should probably buy it right now, on your phones. I mean, still, keep listening to me, but this is an amazing book and it'll probably blow your mind. So the 4-Hour Workweek is a book, subtitle, what's the subtitle? Escape 9 to 5, Live Anywhere and Join the New Rich. And it was originally written by a guy called Tim Ferriss in 2007. And he basically changed the way people think about their life, they think about work, and they think about starting a business. And the main theme of the book is really that you can design your work and also your life in a way that it allows you to live the life you want to live without postponing the living part to your retirement. And I think that's a really, really strong message, and that's why so many people are attracted to it. So the book basically has this framework of how to achieve it. And it's this 4-part framework. And I'm going to bring something more in here. Keep talking. Okay, so it's this 4-part framework, and the acronym is DEAL, D-E-A-L. And it starts with D, and D stands for define, decide, design. What does that mean? First of all, define your objective. Become a self-expert. Decide what's important to you. Know yourself. And then set goals that are important to you, and ask yourself, what do I really, really want? And only when you've asked yourself this question and answered this question, you can start designing the life that you want. Okay, the second part is E for eliminate, and what does that mean? Eliminate, first of all, distractions from your life. Eliminate the stuff that is not necessary from your life. If you figure out something that is really, really important to you, like for example, starting a business, start cutting out all the crap that is distracting you from this. So for example, eliminate noise. Eliminate stuff that frees up your time. Eliminate things that distract you from what you should actually focus on. Start being effective and not efficient. Like do the right things and not do the wrong things, really, really efficiently. Otherwise you'll probably climb up a ladder that is the wrong ladder. And then follow Pareto's law, Pareto's principle, the 80-20 rule. That means 80% of the results can usually be gotten from 20% of the work. And so figure out what are those 20% of the things that you have to do in order to get most of the results. And eliminate, for example, and go on a low information diet. He coined this term as well, low information diet. Like, for example, stop watching the news, stop reading the newspaper, stop, distracting yourself with stuff that's not relevant for your goal. And say no to a lot of things, like say no to people who don't help you, who don't support your dreams. Say no to projects that are distracting you. Okay, third step, now it gets really exciting because that was something that was like really innovative of what he talked about. A for automate and outsource. If you think about business, and he basically talked about his own story and his own business and how he was, at the verge of a burnout because he was working so much. And the importance of, if that's what you want to do, to create a business that runs on autopilot, more or less. So that means removing yourself as the founder and as the CEO as much as possible out of your own business as the bottleneck, and make your business run smoothly witithout you. And that means, and what's the goal of that? That basically means you want to automate your income while not working so much on it, so that you have a lot of free time to do other stuff, or do more important stuff. And also outsourcing is a really important part of it. And he wrote this book in 2007, and like hardly anybody was talking about outsourcing in 2007 for like small startups, or even for like private people, because he came up with this, he didn't come up with this, but he talked about this concept of, for example, hiring a virtual assistant in India, even for yourself, like for your private life, outsourcing menial tasks like research or booking a restaurant or something like that to someone in India. So that was really revolutionary, and you can apply that to business, but also to your own life. Fourthly, liberate. Liberate yourself from, for example, traditional expectations. Liberate yourself in terms of your location. So when you've built a business like that is basically running on autopilot, it doesn't matter where you are because you're not needed in that location. So you can start moving around if that's what you want. And even if you're an employee, he talks about this concept of liberation. So start convincing your boss that you can do your best work from home, not from the office. And once you work from home, it doesn't really matter where your home is. So why not move to Southeast Asia and work from there, because it doesn't make a difference. And then that also means when you're there, this concept of geo-arbitrage. So you go to a place where the cost of living is much lower than where we are right now, but you're still earning in US dollars or in euros if you have a business here. So that creates a really, really nice lifestyle, for example, if you're living in Thailand, and you can either live like a king or save a lot of money for later. And he also talks about this concept of mini retirements, and that means not putting off, the fun part of your life until retirement, because you don't even know if you're actually going to get there, but having like retirement as an integral part of your life all the time, every year, maybe every couple of months. And so that was like a really, really strong message, and this guy is super famous now because of it. And because of that, many people changed their mindset and like developed ideas. For example, this idea of the digital nomad. There's a big scene now, the digital nomad scene. And what they're doing is they're trying to live a location-independent life. So these are people, they're digital, because that means they're earning money in some online way. They have a business, or they're freelancers, but they're location independent because they can do their work online. And then they can move around and do exactly what I just said. For example, live in Thailand and work from there, and basically enjoy that part of their life while still working and being productive and making enough money. And there's also this other scene, the solopreneur scene. I mean, some people here say never go solo, but I would probably say always go solo. So it says like, why teams when you can be so much more effective on your own? And that means there are people out there who want to build businesses, but they don't want to build big businesses. They don't want to build big teams because they want to be free and independent and move around. They want to basically be by themselves and then have freelancers working for them, outsource most of the work so that they have that freedom component of their life. And so just to, I can do this easily now because I think there's probably not one VC left in the room. So I want to contrast the CEO of the VC-backed startup in a little bit of an extreme way to the CEO of the bootstrap lifestyle startup. So bootstrap meaning you don't have external investment, but basically you're financing your startup from within. Okay, so first part, who's your boss? For the CEO of the VC-backed startup, your boss are your investors, because I mean they've given you money, so you really you do what they say, more or less. But when you're a bootstrap and you're a lifestyle business owner, then you are your boss and you decide what's important and where you work from. So what's the revolutionary goal? Startups always want to revolutionize something, like they want to revolutionize the mattress industry or the food industry or market research or, I've heard a couple of revolutionary terms here. So always something to revolutionize, which is fine because I mean we need change in the world and revolution. But the CEO of the lifestyle business usually they just want to revolutionize their own lives, which is also an interesting concept. And then the money goal. I mean, the startups are usually looking for the big exit or the IPO, whereas the lifestyle business owner wants to make enough money, enough cash flow in order to cover his cost of living. It's a very different concept because you really have to be profitable from almost day one. And how does growth and survival happen? For startups, it's often, oh, we need a new funding round, we need an IPO in order to get more money because we're running on a deficit. But if you're the lifestyle business owner, basically, you are financing your own business through your own cash flow because it has to be positive all the time. Employee targets for startups is usually as big as possible because big means bigger valuation, bigger funding round. And for lifestyle business owners, it's be as small as possible and be as independent as possible. Work hours per week. I mean, probably you all know these stories, and I think CEOs of startups, especially when they have, you know, a lot of outside financing, they're working like crazy because they're trying to, you know, build up this thing and revolutionize the world, and they're working like 60 to 80 hours a week. And then if you're the CEO of a lifestyle business, then probably you also have to work a lot in the beginning because you have to get this thing off the ground and you want to earn enough money from it to have a lot of freedom. But it doesn't have to stay that way. If your goal is to, you know, live according to the principles of the Hour Workweek, maybe you're going down to 4 hours. I mean, it doesn't mean you have to only work 4 hours. If you're passionate about your thing, then you can definitely work more, but it's not going to be the 60 to 80 hours lifestyle. And the preferred location, I mean, all startups want to be in Silicon Valley or New York or London or Berlin. And lifestyle businesses, they love Berlin too. I know many who are there. But then what they also love is Chiang Mai and Bangkok in Thailand, and hitting some waves in Jerry Quaquara. There are a couple there too. And so, yeah, let me take this water. What are possible business models for these lifestyle businesses? Some of them are not so different from the regular startup business models. I mean, there's e-commerce, for example, selling physical goods. There's software and software as a service. Software as a service means you're selling software, but not as a one-off deal, but you have like a recurring subscription model behind it. Actually, I have a clicker. Just realizing. I don't even have to go to the computer. Okay, productized services, that's a concept where basically you take something that is traditionally a service, like web design or something, and you package it into a product. That's a business model. And then there are other business models, and they're a little bit more geared towards lifestyle businesses, I would say, especially platform businesses. And that means you're running your business on someone else's platform, so to speak. As an example, if you're selling something on Amazon, if you're selling physical goods on Amazon, you're using the Amazon platform for you. And then as a last thing, expert tribe businesses. And that's maybe the concept least familiar to you. But that means you have some kind of expert who has expertise, and this person is building a tribe. That means, you know, creating a following of people who are interested in what this person has to say and his expertise, and then monetizing that audience or that tribe. And there are a lot of different ways in which you can do that. There's the authorpreneur, someone who basically lives off his writing but has a business around his writing. He's not just a writer, but he has a business around his writing. There's the social media entrepreneur, someone who's basically dominating one or more social media channels and making a lot of business out of this social media channel. There is, for example, the program entrepreneur, someone who has a program, something that he can sell, like his knowledge, and that people are willing to spend money on, like, for example, an online learning course. There's the membership entrepreneur, someone who creates a membership area or a membership service for his following. And basically they pay on a recurring basis and he provides content on a recurring basis. And then there's the event entrepreneur, someone who provides like gatherings or networking or events for other people. And how can you make money with that? Basically, these people have their own products. Like in e-commerce, you have your own physical good that you sell, software, you create your own software, you create your own product as service, and you're selling that. If you're on someone else's platform, you're usually also selling your own product. It doesn't have to be, but that's usually the case. And then if you're a tribe leader, you can also sell your own products, like online courses, membership sites, what have you. Then there's advertising and sponsors, and that is really a very big model, especially for tribe leaders, experts, because they can have things like sponsored posts on their blog, they can have sponsorships on their podcasts. In platform businesses, you can, for example, apps, you can advertise with that, you can monetize with advertising. And it doesn't work so well with the other things, even though it's not completely impossible. And then there's affiliate as a revenue model. That basically means you're getting a commission from someone else for selling their product or getting them the lead. So you have someone and you send them to another site, and when they buy there, you will get a commission for that. So those are like the intersections, and you can like mix and match your business model in there. And I want to give you some real life examples. And I'm going to focus on the platform businesses and also on the expert tribe businesses, because they're a little bit more geared towards the lifestyle business style. Okay, so platform business, what does that mean? Or what's an example? For example, my business is a platform business. If you look for my company name Escalito on the Apple App Store, you will find a lot of apps, like a lot of them. And what are we doing? We are basically using the App Store as a platform. And how does that work? The nice thing about platforms is they take a lot of complexity away from your business. How do they work? First of all, they're usually really big search engines, like the App Store is a search engine. And second of all, what they do is they often do marketing and fulfillment for you. So if I'm an app developer, if I have apps, I don't have to tell anybody to go to the App Store, because I mean people are in the App Store all the time. And also, the App Store is doing the fulfillment for me. I don't have to ship apps to anybody, that's what the App Store does, that's what the iPhone does. And so you're taking a lot of complexity out of your business when you do that, and you pretty much have to focus on two things. First of all, product creation, for example, app creation, and then search engine optimization, in that case, App Store optimization. App Store search optimization. And so the nice thing about these platforms is there are so many consumers on the platforms already, and they all have their credit card on there. They trust the platform. And so this is why it's a really convenient way to take a lot of complexity out of your business. And there's not only the App Store. If you think about different platforms, what have you? So there's more than one App Store. Google Play, Apple App Store, Amazon App Store, there are Windows and BlackBerry, you can forget about them, but still, they exist. There are marketplaces, like eBay is a humongous platform, Amazon is a humongous platform, even Zalando has a marketplace. So if you're a fashion designer, or you come up with some fashion items, you can, sell your stuff on there. Davanda and Etsy, for example, for the do-it-yourself crowd. And then social networks are platforms as well. You can make money off LinkedIn or Facebook if you just have a clever offering there. And learning platforms like Udemy or Skillshare, people are selling online courses on there, and that's also a really great platform. So just another example from a platform person. So this is Steve Scott. He has a website, selfpublishingquestions.com. And this guy basically has 21 books on Amazon and a couple of other books. And what he does is, there are some people who are really open about what they're earning and the kind of income they're making. And so for example, this guy published that in March 2015, with his 21 books, he earned more than $30,000 in 1 month. So he's a platform entrepreneur. He's using Amazon Kindle as his platform and monetizes that. And then Udemy, I said, that's a big learning platform. So there are many people on Udemy. And so that's, people are called program experts before. So they're selling their knowledge in a program in an online course. And so for example, on Udemy, you have all these people making a lot of money by selling their knowledge on this platform. For example, this guy will make $1,000 a day from selling Udemy courses. So he's talking about making money on this platform. And you see, these people can also earn really well. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about expert tribe people. Entrepreneur, Pat Flynn from smartpassiveincome.com. So he's an amazing guy. I've been following him for years and reading his stuff, and he puts a lot of really, really high quality content out there. So he has a blog, he has several podcasts, he has online products, he does events, and he has a really, really huge following. And he does it because he's very open about it, because he wants to live a great life, and he wants to, for example, walk his daughter to school every day, and that's what he does. And he says he's the only family where he and his wife are walking the daughter to school. And he's very public about his earnings. So last month, this guy made $116,000. Last month only. And he's on his own, basically. I mean, he has a team, but no one who really works for him in a fixed way. Not his employees, but it's like freelancers, and he works with them on a variable rate. So he does that to live his optimal lifestyle. And there's this guy. Do you know who this guy is? I don't even know how to pronounce his name. I'm too old for this, I think. Like PewDiePie? Is that the right way to pronounce his name? Yeah. So I mean, this guy plays video games, and you can watch him on YouTube. And supposedly, he was the biggest earner last year, and he made $12 million last year from playing video games on YouTube and people watching him. And so he clearly is not only a gamer, but he has a business, and an amazing one, and he probably loves to play video games. And so his lifestyle business enables him to create a great life and have that as a business. Or for example, this guy, John Lee Dumas from EntrepreneurOnFire.com. He started creating a podcast where he interviewed entrepreneurs, and this podcast grew really, really rapidly. And then people started asking him, how do you make a successful podcast? And then he started creating a program, a membership site called Podcasters Paradise, and he charges $1,200 for people to get in and learn how to make a successful podcast. And last month, this guy earned $271,000. And that wasn't, that was a usual month for him. He usually earns like between 200 and 300 grand per month. These guys, Markus Meurer and Felicia Hager, they created the DNX movement, Digital Nomad Conference. So they are digital nomads themselves. They love traveling the world, and then they noticed that a lot of people love this too, so they started connecting and supporting digital nomads, and they're creating events around this. And a conference that happens in Berlin that's going global now, and they're doing like camps. And I think right now they're all on a boat from here to Brazil with like dozens of digital nomads. And afterwards they go to Jericoacoara and doing a camp there. And they're, obviously having a great business and living the lifestyle that they love, and they don't have external investment. And then I want to close my examples with this guy, Scott Dinsmore from liveyourlegend.net. So what this guy does is, he basically helps people find and do the work they love. He has one of the most famous TED Talks with like over 3 million views. And he created a business around that because he wanted to help people find the work they love. And he has digital products, and he connects people. Yeah. Oh, awesome, you're doing the comfort zone challenge. I love it. Okay. Okay, so he's doing that, and I should rather say he did do that, because a couple of weeks ago he died at age 32. He was traveling around the world with his wife on a one-year journey, doing what he loves, and running this business all the while. And he was hit by a rock while climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. And so what happened then was this outpouring of love on the internet of people whose lives he changed by building a business, a lifestyle business, and helping them. And to me that means I was wrong before when I said they're just trying to revolutionize their own life. Actually, this guy is revolutionizing the lives of many people. And he's making an impact, and he's making money and leading the life that he wants to. So that means for me, because this retirement may never come, right? If you're in a big startup and you're working for the big accident IPO, maybe you're failing, and you're doing the next one and you're hating your life. And then, so if you want to do that, you better start now. if you find that sweet spot. Third step, surround yourself with amazing people. There's this quote by Jim Rohn, and he says, "You are the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with." And that's so true. I love this statement. Because you become like these people. And so that means, if you want to be successful, start surrounding yourself with the people who are already successful, who are already doing what you want to do. Fourth step, just start. If you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product you've launched too late, says Reid Hoffman from LinkedIn. And just to, take this fear away from you of what it means to have this horrible first product that you're embarrassed of, I'm going to show you my first product. It's this. This was our first app 3 years ago. It was called Love Quotes, and you could send cheesy love quotes to other people. And it looked like this in version 1. It still looks kind of similar. And we were embarrassed of it, but it's fine. I mean, we spent $150 and a programmer in Vietnam, he developed it for us. It went on the App Store, and at some point of time it was number 6 in the German App Store. It has over 240,000 downloads. And we made more than 10,000 euros of revenue of this app. But I mean, still, it's horrendous. So just start, don't be embarrassed. And then 5th step, get market feedback. You probably also know this chart, like from the lean startup. Build, start, create something, create a product, and then put it out there in the market and measure what happens, test your hypotheses, and learn from them. Because in the beginning you have no idea what your product should look like and what your business model should look like. And then, as kind of like, not as a 6th step, but something that is all encompassing, is if you want to, do this lifestyle thing, try to outsource and automate all the time. Maybe in the beginning do things yourself, but then try to automate them and give them to someone else so that you can remove yourself as a bottleneck from your business. Okay, that's really general. So let's do something a little bit more concrete, something that you can, each one of you can take away right now if you leave this place. To get started, if you want to get started, build your own business based on an external platform. So something similar to what I did. First step, pick your platform. So out of all these platforms that exist there, particularly the ones or the emerging ones, the ones that are really growing rapidly, like pick the one, I don't know, pick one that you like, or that you use a lot, or that is like really new, maybe Periscope or something. I think that's really hot right now. So pick your platform and then like get into it and try to find out what happens on this, what kind of products are out there. And then find a sub-market or a niche or community to serve on this platform. Because there are like thousands or millions of communities on these platforms already with their credit cards in hand. So I mean, there are like moms surfing Amazon in order to lose weight. And there are like people on the App Store, like parents who want to get stuff like apps for their children. And I don't know what else. On Etsy, there are like couples who are looking for wedding stuff. I mean, there are all these people that are looking for all this stuff. So I mean, look at the platform, look at who you could serve, maybe think about your sweet spot, and then try to serve someone. And how do you do that? By building a minimum viable product. Building your first product, something that you're really, really ashamed of. And how do you do it? Through outsourcing, if you don't want to do it yourself. Because it's really cheap and much cheaper and much easier than you probably think. You probably wouldn't have thought that you can get an app for $150, but you can. And you go to these platforms like freelancer.com or upwork.com or guru.com, or if you want to do a physical product, alibaba.com, and you just post something like a project. I want to get someone to write a Kindle ebook for you, or get someone to build an app for you. Or it's free. I mean, it's risk-free. You don't even have to give them the project, but you can just do it and check it out just for the fun of it. And maybe you invest $100 and let someone write an ebook for you, and then you put it on Amazon and you just see what happens. And right now you're an entrepreneur. All right. So take that framework home with you. I'm gonna finish with another little story. So it's the story of the fisherman and the startup CEO. So that's the startup CEO. He's on vacation for the first time since he founded his startup. He's in Mexico at the beach, And you know, he's walking at the beach and he sees this fisherman coming in with this really small fishing boat. And the fisherman has this beautiful tuna. And so the CEO of the startup is really interested, starts talking to the fisherman. Oh, these beautiful fish, how did you get it? How long did it take you to fish them? And the fisherman says, not so long, just 1 or 2 hours. And the startup CEO is really surprised. He's like, why didn't you fish longer and get more fish? And the fisherman says, well, I have a really full and busy life. I come home, you know, I sleep, I play with my grandchildren, spend time with my wife, you know, I sip wine, take siestas, play guitar with my friends. I have a really full and busy life. And the startup CEO says, oh my God, you can do so much more. I can help you. You know what you should do? First of all, you should go out there and fish longer, so you get more fish, and then you get more revenue. And then from this additional revenue, you can buy yourself a bigger boat, and then you can get even more fish and even more revenue. And then you can buy a couple of boats, and you have your own like fishing company, and you can get even more revenue. And you know what you should do then? You should start cutting out the middleman. You should sell directly to the consumer, online. And that's what I can help you with. We can build an amazing e-commerce startup. I already have a name. I think we should call it Fishando Internet. And so we're going to revolutionize the fish commerce industry. We're going to sell directly online. And another great idea that I have, we're going to create this product called the Fishy Box. So that's a recurring revenue model. You get your fish box every month. So the only thing that you have to do is you have to obviously leave this fisher village because you have to come to Silicon Valley with me, and then we'll run this company together, and it'll grow and grow, and it will make a lot of money. And you will become rich. And this guy's like, oh, interesting. So how long does that take? Like 15 to 20 years. Okay. And then the CEO says, so, and then you're going to get really, really rich. You're going to make millions. And then we're going to IPO your company. And you'll be super rich. And the fisherman says, okay, and then what? And the startup CEO says, now here comes the amazing part. Once you're super, super rich, you can move to a small fisher village, sleep all day, play with your grandchildren, take siestas, spend time with your wife, sip wine, play guitar with your friends, and have a really full life. So my question for you is, do you want to be the fisherman, or do you want to be Fishando Internet? Thank you.